Oh, I have to fix that. It doesn't say, does your mama know you're watching the show?
What happened?
That was the old That was the old intro.
Yeah, it was the old one. Just for those that don't know, Johnny has to read this off every time we start one of these podcasts. This podcast is rated R and is intended for mature audiences only. Right, Jennifer?
Yes. No. People are of 18 of age or older. You don't have to necessarily be mature with regards to your personality, but you do have to be of age to watch the show. It's rated R.
I'm clearly not mature enough to watch this show or be involved in this show.
You run this shit.
Bruce is smack in the middle tonight, dude. Do you feel important?
I know.
You feel important right at this moment?
A man named Brady.
He could be Brady. He could be. Bruce could possibly be all our fathers. We just don't know it. Is that possible, Bruce?
Not mine.
Yeah.
Not mine.
I'd be struggling to be old enough for John's too. So,
Yeah, I don't think you could be my dad, but you could be Mike's dad for all we know. You could.
yeah,
Mike's.
I'm old enough to be Mike. My daughter's older than Mike.
Yeah, that's right.
I was gonna
say. Bruce, where were you in Stockton back in 1980? What was it, Mike?
90.
Oh,
90?
yeah.
90.
Yeah.
Oh shit, 90.
90. I lived in Ceres back then.
Oh, that's close enough. That's
Shit,
close
I'm
enough.
old enough to be your mom, Mike.
Are you?
My daughter was born in 1989. My son was 91.
Yeah.
I didn't think you were that old.
Jen can be your mama.
She didn't.
I'm gonna be 49 Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm old fart.
Well, we got
Yeah,
a
that's
MILF
right.
on the show.
We got a MILF. Cougar.
Or like a
No,
goat.
she's got one more year before she can claim that.
One more.
Is that the official age? Is it 50 the official?
I don't
No,
fucking know. I guess it just
No,
depends
I'm
on
just
how you
saying
look. I'm not a. I have no grandchildren. I'm not
I
a
think
gilf
it depends
yet.
more on how young the other person is.
Right. Because I mean, it's 20 plus years. Anybody that's dating, so like if you're 18 and you're dating someone that's 40, that's a cougar, right, guys?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
The older you get, the bigger the age gap has to be.
yeah.
Okay.
So like a
what's-
40-year-old for me wouldn't be a cougar. I mean, that's only 8 years.
yeah.
But if I was 25, that's a different story.
Yeah. So
So
cougar
Mike,
for
that-
me is 80.
Mike would have to be 70. So, yeah.
Oh, not 70.
She'd be like,
come over here, sexy.
she'd be like this.
I'm
Ow, my arthritis. Ow.
Can
Because
you
Yeah,
put some Benkei
man,
on my cheeks? No.
I'd be looking in the 90s.
like, yeah.
Bruce, fuck. She would have to have the oxygen machine with her, the fucking IV.
No, it
Just
just
roll-
all depends.
They
Everybody's
can't run quick
everybody's
because most of them are in walkers. So
Yeah, they're in walkers
We-
and
We are
and,
kind and loving to senior citizens.
I could see Bruce hanging out at the old folks' home looking for a cougar, man.
and the lady's walking up to Bruce going, "Hey there, Tiger, why don't you break my hip?"
Yeah, Bruce
Like,
running around with his shirt off, giving all the
Yeah.
old ladies a heart attack.
Not trying to
Break
hurt
my hip,
nobody
baby,
now.
break my hip.
Break my hip, Brucey.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, moving on.
Bruce would ask to see their 401ks first before he break a hip.
I gotta see if you can afford me. No.
hey,
Bruce ain't
so-
cheap.
So an older woman is a cougar. What's an older guy with the younger woman? What's the title for
A
the guy?
sugar daddy.
Lucky.
It's a
Yeah.
sugar daddy, yeah, sugar
Sugar
daddy.
Oh, that's so funny. that
I
you
don't
said
know because
Jen,
that's kind of two different things though,
Yeah,
really. Because
yeah.
does a
Yeah.
cougar
that is
does a
different.
cougar pay for everything like a sugar daddy does?
It,
No,
it all
right?
depends. It
Very
all,
di- very-
it's rarer.
It's
more-
rare.
Yeah, but it does happen. It does happen.
Yeah,
You ain't getting shit from
maybe
me,
we need to
but-
come up with a new name for the
I
cougar
sent-
guy.
This is funny. I sent this to my sister just the other day. It said the gender neutral term for sugar daddy is glucose guardian.
Glucose Guardian, yes.
I seen that and I was like, oh shit.
Oh no! Yeah, we have to come up with a name for it. I mean,
I
it
just
has to
wondered
be
if
an
there
animal.
was- I just
It's
wondered
called a
if there
creep,
was
John.
something.
A
We're
creep.
men. We don't get to have fun like the women do. We're called
Yeah.
creep.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, it'd be just a creep.
Yeah, just a
If an
creep.
18-year-old guy was dating a woman my age, like everybody would be like, "Oh, damn, look at him go." But if I
No,
dated
Yeah.
there
an
would be there'd
18-year-old,
be stigmas
they
for the woman as well because that's just not
not as
okay.
much as the man though.
Men have been dating younger women and marrying younger women for thousands
But
of
if you
years.
but
It's
if you've seen both scenarios, which one would make you cringe more? The 18-year-old guy with a 30-year-old woman, or the 18-year-old girl with a 30-year-old guy?
I would cringe with a woman. I'd thumbs up the guy.
Thumb up the guy.
I wouldn't necessarily I
Hey!
wouldn't cringe with the woman because when women there's in all honesty older women should be with younger men because of the sex drive ratio, because when women get older their sex drive actually peaks as it would for a male between 18 and 25.
No, they got a pill
So-
to fix that.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
but that doesn't work
Yeah,
for
they
me
do.
though, Jen. I need to find myself like a mature 26-year-old.
Ah!
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's not going to happen.
This
Have
is-
fun
this
with
isn't
that.
gonna
Good
work
luck.
well for
Good
me.
luck. Good luck. Good luck
Oh,
with
my-
that. Especially
Like I said, I got a few more years. I got to get to like 35, and then all the 25-year-olds will want me
Yeah, because now, yeah.
Good luck with that,
because I'm
though.
that established older
At
single
25.
guy with a 401k and an IRA. And
You
a
become
house
the you become the dad bot. You become that dad bot. There.
Already
Oh
got
my
the dad
goodness.
bod.
Well,
Yeah,
good, well,
yeah.
good luck with that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Good luck with that.
I'll let you know how it goes in a few years.
Oh, no,
Let you know.
No. I saw a great meme that said Magic Mike grossed $165 million.
And Shrek grossed 400 and something thousand.
Yeah, and nobody wants a
I've seen
dad
that
bod. And the
too.
guy goes, "Well, Shrek grows 463 million."
Yes.
So there's that.
So there's that exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it
But
also,
if you
Hey,
if you
John,
take it as a
happy
time
birthday,
frame-
John, by the way. Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you,
birthday,
thank you.
John.
Happy birthday.
54.
I know.
I feel 34. I feel
I can-
34.
I can honestly say I was 31 and he was 21, and
There
nobody
you go.
batted an eye.
31 and 21 is not that big of a
But
deal. But if
did he look older?
He was 6'8", and he
Jesus.
was a
Yeah.
nerdy. He was a nerdy engineer. He was just really big, and I
So he
look
didn't.
like
So he didn't have a beard.
and Johnny knows Nadia right now is 32. I was around her age. I look like I was in my early 20s.
yeah.
Yeah. See, so that
Yeah,
helps.
so
You look younger, so
I
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go with. I don't think I would be too comfortable seeing it the other way around. I mean, with the guy, I would be like, but the other way around, it'd be kind of. It's just creepy, Jen. It's just creepy.
Sexist.
It's just
so true, but
no.
John, think about what Hope looked like when she was 18, like just after high school.
Yeah,
Now,
it'd
if
be
you saw her
creepy.
with a guy my age that looked like
Right.
me,
Yeah,
you would be like, "What the hell?"
You wouldn't be
Yeah.
okay
Are we allowed
with
to
that.
cuss on this? Because I just
yeah.
saw
You can
myself
fucking
saying that
cuss
word.
all fucking
Okay.
day long, man.
Cut, twat, motherfucker, son of a bitch.
Yeah, you can say all those things on this show. Remember,
You're muted, dude. You're muted.
who's muted?
Mike?
Mike.
I am.
Oh, I
No,
he's
it
good.
looked like you were
Very
talking,
good.
and I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, no, I
this
wasn't.
this podcast is rated R, so you can say whatever you want on here. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would just because it's the first thing that pisses off a dad of a daughter is seeing a daughter dating an older guy. That's just like common
And-
thing.
if you look
But if
around
it's the
now-
other way around, but if the dad finds out the son's sleeping with the teacher, it's like, hey, good,
then
good for you.
see, and see, it's
Maybe not a
it's
teacher,
still-
but
it's-
Well, you know what I'm saying.
You just, on the podcast, we do not encourage that, nor do we.
No, we don't.
recommend
We
it.
don't. Yeah,
no. As long as you are, you have to be 18. You must.
yeah.
be
You gotta be 18. You gotta be.
But
18.
if you're
God.
18, bro, hey, you might get your teacher fired, but
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my
go
god.
have
Okay,
some fun.
so
Mike, are you still on Tinder?
I mean, on it, yeah.
Mike lives there. Mike lives
I
there.
like that. I like that.
use
On it?
I don't use it a lot, but yes, I still have a profile on it.
Yeah, he's still on there. He still gets matches from time to time. That little what is it? A heart that pops up on your screen when you get a match? Or
I have
just a
my
picture?
notifications off, so
you
I'm
turn-
like, I don't
Mike
even
doesn't
know.
want anybody
I
to
stuck-
see.
I stuck
He's at a
it
job
in.
site. Bing, oh, you
No,
got a
I
match.
just don't. I just- I'll see it when I go on whenever I
I
get on.
paused my Tinder one like months ago.
Tinder's really trash now. It's either fake profile, half of them are fake, the other 39% are ugly.
That's the same as the Facebook one. Majority of them are.
Oh, I don't have the Facebook one.
Yeah. I gave it a try because it was free, and
the women aren't good enough on Facebook for Mike. They're not good enough.
No, there's a lot of left swiping on Facebook. Let me tell you.
What's the name of the thing though?
It's just
on Facebook.
It's Facebook's dating app.
No, it's on Facebook. There's if you look at your Facebook, there's a little heart down at the bottom.
Didn't even know.
Yeah, they got the dating thing up again.
So if you click on that
I never knew they had.
You click on that little heart thing, it gets you to their dating website. Yeah.
You get a little date. You get a date, Mike.
Their own.
Mike's like, oh, those are all the recycled women from fucking Tinder.
Probably could be.
Say just about every freaking dating app. If you're in an area, you're gonna see somebody's freaking profile over and over and over again.
There's some girls I've matched with multiple times. It's almost like a joke. You just keep matching with them because it's funny.
I just do it on purpose.
Or if I see someone I know, I always swipe yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Just to screw with them.
Yeah.
So I get that. I had to get rid of Plenty of Fish because you can just fucking.
Yeah, that's a nasty site anyway, Jennifer. You don't belong. You don't belong on there. You don't belong on there.
POF is the overnight bags.
Okay, Coop. I almost called it okay, stupid. Okay, Cupid.
Yeah, it's okay, stupid. We hooked up.
Oh no, okay, Cupid actually is the better of some of the ones because of because they have.
I've never used it.
They ask you questions and then they give percentages and you can see how many questions the other person's answered, whether it was 5 or 450, and you can see the similarities and it gives you percentages, and you also like the things that you're passionate about, what your political affiliation is, and it matches you up with people like that, so you can see literally other people, what they believe, what they're into.
So it actually matches you with people, or just gives you those people?
It gives you the percentages as you're going through the profiles, which is really cool. It gives you more information, and they can.
Is it free, or is it one that you have to pay?
It's free.
To get in?
I've always said it's free.
It's only free for the girls.
It's free for the girls.
It's free up to a certain degree. Just like anything else. So
can you message though? Can you actually message people without it?
Yes, you can. You can make comments on their pictures, and it'll send to that person. That's how
the conversation starts.
Yeah, that's how the conversation starts.
If she doesn't want to talk to you, she's just going to avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm on is the Bumble one, and that's like the gal's got to make the first moves.
That one, which is free for them as well.
That one's more.
It is for me, but I can't.
But okay, I call it okay, stupid.
What do you get? A senior citizen discount, Bruce? Why is it free for you?
The Bumble one's horrible because girls just say hey, and then when you don't say something back, then they just delete the match, and it's like,
well, I mean,
I'm not going to give you anything off hey, sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
and plus,
I try to get the conversation going, but if they just one word it, then it's like, well, why did you match me if you're just going to one word the conversation?
Yeah, I can't.
And plus, if you respond too quickly, you look, kind of needy. I mean, you don't want to hey, and then just, do you want a guy, Jennifer, that just responds absolutely quickly right after you say that? Hey,
you know what? You're asking the wrong person because it depends on the intention of the message.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't answer soon enough, then they drop you because you didn't respond.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want a guy that responds automatically. I mean, that's just.
I have had some where I did not respond, and they just kept fucking sending me messages, and I'm I delete, send, and I'm like, and finally I tried.
You're mean, Jennifer. You're mean.
No. I've tried to be nice to people in the past by saying simply no thank you. Thank you very much for contacting me. I'm not interested. And they get horrible in less than a fucking second. The next thing
Jennifer says, send me dick pic.
No, I don't. No.
There you go. There you go, Johnny.
She gets enough. She probably doesn't have to ask.
I don't have to ask. I don't have to ask at all. But the thing is that some of them, when I've tried to be polite and nice and be like, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I've read your profile or blah blah blah. I just, thank you for reaching out, but trying to be cordial. I had a guy tell me after trying to. He's like, "Would you be real?" He sends me a message asking me if I would be willing to relocate.
Oh God.
And
No,
I went,
Sure.
and I went,
Yeah,
I said, no, thank you.
Saudi
no,
Arabia.
Not really. No, thank you. And then he's like, it's okay because you look like a dude anyways. And I'm like, and I go, excuse me, but you're
Yeah.
the one who sent me the message. So
Yeah.
apparently you like dudes. Maybe you're on the wrong
That-
app.
Yeah. There's
That's
guys
like
that
when
are
you
like
and the
that.
girl break up and she says you got a little dick.
Yeah.
Right.
It
No,
was
a guy
fine for
knows- a
fucking
guy
9
knows
months.
Whether or not he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No,
and if you
Mike, when
do,
they say that, I usually go, yeah, well, it was fine for your mom and sister.
okay, not to be so lame, Bob. I would have just said that. It's nice that you're complaining about it now, but you seem to be just fine with it while we were together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got
Well,
one for you. I got one for you on Bumble there, John.
For me, I don't want one.
Yeah, her name.
Johnny's like, no, thank you. Throw
Her
it
name
back.
is her name is Green Eyes 58.
Oh, there you go. I won't be able to talk to her. It won't be very much of a conversation because she's got
but
green
she's
eyes. So.
58.
Blonde.
We think she was born in 1958. No.
No, she is 58. She's
Oh,
a
she's
What?
blonde.
What?
She's blonde.
Bob's like, what?
5'5", active, social, doesn't smoke, doesn't do drugs, relationship, doesn't want kids, Christian. She's into museums, galleries, beaches, exploring new cities, ambition, and confidence.
That sounds
Ooh.
right. That sounds
Guarantee you that I am divorced and no kids.
Yeah.
She's throwing that out again. She's like,
Dude,
throwing that
again,
motherfucker out there.
You said 1958. She's 10 years older than me.
No, she's 58.
She
She's
is 58.
Oh, she's
years old,
58.
bro.
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't say
okay.
1958.
like,
Jen
no.
said 1958. I just said
Yeah,
58.
I was gonna say.
She's all cobwebs
and
and
she's-
dust.
And she's not a felon,
Hold on.
drug addict, or mentally ill, and she says she doesn't need a project.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, I'm a
That's
fucking
good.
project, man.
She
I'm a
needs
fucking
I
project.
have respect for her.
My problem is she lives in SoCal and she's willing to relocate, but right now she's in Palo Alto.
Oh, dude, that's just desperate. She sounds desperate. I mean, willing to relocate. Yeah, that's not something you put.
Okay,
Open,
if you
she says
you're
open
she's
to
older.
relocating.
Okay, she's
Yeah, yeah.
older. And
Yeah.
she's probably looking for a companion. So
Yeah.
saying that you're
Well,
willing
she
to
put that she's
relocate,
looking for a relationship.
I guess she's
Yeah.
being open and honest about it.
exactly,
That's cool.
because I've
Yeah.
seen people have had cross
Oh,
country. She's
okay. Never mind.
people have had
Damn, she's
cross
good
country.
looking. John, never mind.
I know, Mister. You know
Hey,
what?
hey,
Bruce-
Mike, I call dibs, bitch.
Bruce,
I call
you
dibs.
send that. You
Hey,
send
buddy,
that.
I
You
can't-
send her a message.
can't call
She's
it.
beautiful. Fuck John. No.
Relationship. I skip over the relationship ones. So.
Yeah, I don't want her relocating.
Mike's like, no.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
just- Yeah, I'm just at that age where it's like I'm not like so young that like I used to like 5 years ago I could get like the 40-year-olds to like,
yeah.
like, oh, I'm dating a younger guy. Now I'm 32 and I get like a 40-year-old that wants to try to have a relationship with me. I'm like, all right, I'm not quite at the point where I'm gonna date a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
Aw, poor
So,
Mike.
I don't have that young appeal anymore. I need to shave my beard and change my age.
Yeah, that's what I told you,
Mike,
man.
about your age.
I
Just
told
start
you.
saying
Put some
I'm 27 still.
go down to Rayleigh's and get that gray thing and add some gray to your beard.
Yep.
They're making
No, I
they want
need
you
to
to
look
make
younger,
yourself look
John.
older.
He wants to
look
get. He
younger.
wants the gray
I wanna look
out,
younger.
John.
Oh, he wants to gray out. Oh, yeah, no.
He wants to look younger so he could still bang the 40-something-year-olds, but they won't want a
Yeah,
relationship with him
exactly.
because
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
think that
okay,
he's
okay,
They'll
I
just
see,
want to
yeah.
sleep with me because they think they're sleeping with a young guy.
Yeah. Well, just
you don't-
lie.
Why are you telling them your age? You're over 21 and you're less than 35. Throw it out there.
Well, you can't put that on dating apps. I'm in this age.
Hey, you, Jennifer, you can't lie on a dating app. Come on, that's just
No.
against the
You can't.
rules.
No,
You know
that
how many
never-
fucking
that never
profiles I've
happens.
seen of guys that said that they were younger than they were and they ended up being old farts? And you see, are they like, oh, they won't let me change my age on here. I'm really da 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 da. No, fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Most girls'
Well,
pictures
I
are
mean,
lies.
you know, when you put your age down there, you know, eventually you're going to meet this person. So it's like, you know,
When you put pictures up, eventually
yeah.
you may
I mean,
meet
if
this
you're
person.
using your fucking picture from when you were 40 and you're actually 50 something, I mean,
No,
you know,
sometimes
eventually.
the picture's not even them.
Yeah, it's not them. That's even worse.
So
All
you're
right,
telling
I
me
want
I
to
can take down my profile picture from when I was 25.
Oh, you use that one, Bob. Even though it's in black and white, it should be fine.
I can't use mine because
Yeah.
it's still on the cave wall.
All right, I wanted to talk
Etched in
about this a
stone.
little bit. Yeah, lack of common courtesy in today's world, and the reason I want to talk about this is something that happened. I had to happen to me in San Francisco, and it was just hilarious. And it ended up being a 2-day project of me doing certain things to see how people react during the day today in San Francisco. So I was in my hotel room. And I can't vape and smoke in there, so I had to go back downstairs and outside to the sidewalk to smoke. So I forgot my cell phone, and I had taken my watch off because I took a shower. So I'm sitting on this little step outside of the Hilton, and this is the business district in San Francisco, so it's a little bit cleaner. You know, there's not very many homeless around. So I'm sitting on this step, and I realized I had to be, at the hospital at a certain time. And I didn't know what time it was. So I seen this guy walking. This guy's in a 3-piece suit, fucking, got his briefcase, his earbuds in. He's got his phone in his fucking hand. In his hand. And this is my George Costanza moment.
Oh, God.
As he's walking by, I figured, fuck it, I'll ask this guy what time it is, right? So I said, I made eye contact with the guy, and I said, excuse me, you know what time it is? And he looks down at his phone. I'm not shitting you. Looks down at his phone, looks back up at me, and continues walking. Doesn't tell me what fucking time it is. Doesn't say shit, right? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, it is San Francisco. He could be a tourist. He kind of looked like a foreigner. Maybe he didn't speak any English. All right, so I'm giving the city of San Francisco. Yeah, I'm giving the city of San Francisco a break right there. And I think, all right, fuck it. I'll ask the next guy. Maybe he doesn't speak any English. So the next guy's walking, same thing. Guy's in a suit, carrying his bag, no phone in his hand, but he has his earbuds on, right? But he has an eye watch on. So as he's walking by, I see him. I look him in the face, right in the eyes. I say, hey, excuse me, do you know what time it is? And he looks at me and he goes, no. And he just keeps walking past me. Right there and then, it hit me. That scene from Seinfeld where George Costanza's asking the two people at the airport what time it is, and he screams and yells, we live in a society. And I felt like saying that, right? You guys, I had to ask 4 people what time it was. Finally, this lady, I looked her right in the eyes and say, hey, you know what time it is? I need to know what time it is. And she tells me the time. So
It was a woman.
Right. And she was going to continue walking past me, but she realized I was vaping. She was curious, about it because she was smoking. So we had this conversation. So I started to talk to her, and I was like, I need to ask you something. I said, I had to ask, you're the 4th person I had to ask what time it is. I said, do I look homeless? And she looks at me and she goes, no, you're fine. You're dressed nice. I said, you can see the homeless people around here.
Do I look homeless?
That's what I was, I am sitting
Okay.
on a bench, out in front of a hotel. I am dressed nice, It just kind of blew me away that I had to ask 4 people what time it was. I mean, and 3 out of the 4 had their phones in their hands.
I think the first one was a smart ass because you asked him. All you asked was, "Do you know what time it is?" He probably looked at his fucking thing and said, "I do now" to himself and walked on.
Yeah, he just a fucking dickhead move. It was like a dickhead move.
Yeah, I do know what time
But
it is, but you know.
you said he had his ear pods in. Are you sure he even heard what you said?
Oh, he heard me because he looked right down at his phone where the time was, and then he just looked back at me and goes, "No," and just kept walking.
No, I'm talking about the first guy that didn't
first
say
one,
anything.
the first
He
guy.
didn't say nothing. He just kept walking. He looked right at his phone, looked at me, and just
That's
kept
what I'm
walking.
saying. You think he heard you because he said he had his earphones in.
Yeah, but a lot of those people are when they're walking, they have that one mode set where they can still hear conversations in cars. So just because you don't want to get run over, especially in San Francisco, if you're not paying attention, you can get run over.
Well, I have a
Yeah,
question.
Bob. Yeah.
Were you
Wait,
wearing
yeah.
your watch like you're doing now?
No, I had my watch off. I had taken a shower, so I left my watch and my cell phone up there. I just went downstairs to have a vape real quick, and I was going to head back up. And then I realized, fuck, I had to be at the hospital a certain time, and I didn't know how long. I was kind of judging how long I've been down there. It was horrible. That was the first part. So then I was thinking, I'm sitting there on the step after I was done talking to this girl for about 15, 20 minutes. I started thinking, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to ask people how their day is. Good morning, good afternoon, the whole 9 yards while I'm in San Francisco, and see what kind of response I get from
During
everywhere.
the pandemic.
Right, which makes it even harder because you can't see their face expressions. You can't see nothing, So,
Look at this guy talking to me for.
thank you, Deb. As I'm walking back to the hotel, there's that one section where the stairs are, and that's where you are allowed to take your mask off. So you're allowed to take your mask off over there, but once you get inside the hotel, you have to have your mask on. So I'm walking up the steps and I'm thinking, okay, here we go. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go with the good morning. How you guys doing? Right? 3 guys dressed in suits, obviously headed to some sort of meeting, whatever. They're kind of lightly talking to each other. We're coming up the steps. I look all 3 of them in the face and say, hey, good morning, guys. How's it going? All 3 of them looked at me like I was some fucking insane fucking guy. I was like, seriously, dude? No response. One of the guys looked at me and looked at the other guys and just smiled like, who the fuck's this guy?
I need to get napkin.
It was just horrible, man. It just got me to thinking. I mean, is it the pandemic? Is this just the new way things are? I mean, do you guys run into something like that?
What's the city you were in?
Dude, San Francisco's pretty much known for a lot of friendly people. That's why I kind of figured. I kind. Oh, yeah, that puts Bob in the middle.
What world do you live in, John? San Francisco's a bunch of assholes.
It's weird, like my internet just dropped.
It depends. It depends, and I'll tell you, it depends. There's certain areas of San Francisco, yes, Mission District, that area. You're not going to get a fucking good morning in the Mission District. You're going to get the fuck out of my way. But when you're in the business district or in that area, Columbus, Little Italy area, you're going to get hello. You're going to get good morning. I've always gotten how you guys doing today. It felt funny.
The people you're getting that from is working class people.
Well, the working class people, I'm going to tell you right now, the working class people were the worst the whole 2 days I was there. They were absolutely the worst. Every single person, I'm not going to name the hospital.
You're talking about is guys in suits. Those are not working class people.
Yeah, those guys were assholes. White collar.
The blue collar.
Yeah, I'm talking about. You're talking about walking through Little Italy. The guy that owns the little store on the corner. The person selling produce. Those are the people that may be nice. But they've grown up. And dude, New York City's the same. Going to be the same way, dude. Now you go to somewhere else. You go to Midwest or whatever, Central America. You ask that. I guarantee you, most people are going to tell you what time it is. They're going to say hi. It depends on where you're at. It really does.
I got as I got closer to the hospital. Once I got into the hospital in the parking lot, I was walking to the car. There was a couple nurses. I said, "Hey, good morning. How's it going?" Not a single thing out of either one of them. Get to the elevator. There's a lady there that's, obviously doesn't work there. I said, good morning. How you doing today? And she couldn't stop. I couldn't get her to shut up after I said that. And then we got in the elevator. It was a long fucking ride just listening to her. Oh, my mother's here. I was like, all right, cool. That's cool. I'm glad, it was all right. I like it. It wasn't bad.
Yeah. But Money says she wasn't from San Francisco.
I don't know if she was or wasn't. I didn't ask her, but I'm sure she was in that area somewhere.
Because her mother was there. That's it.
Yeah, it was just strange. I mean, have you guys run into that at all? Have you noticed that a little bit of a change in the way people interact with each other on a day-to-day basis? I mean, you're on the phone a lot, Jen, so you don't really. Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
When if I'm with somebody and make contact, I say hello, how you doing?
You say it back when someone says it to you, right?
Absolutely. Well, I say it first.
Yeah. You say it first. How about you, Bruce? You're around your buddies at the golf course, so do you run into other people at the golf course and say good morning? How's it going, guys?
Yeah. There's people I don't know at the golf course. We give the old head nod or morning or hey, how you doing? But it's just a courtesy thing. It's not like you get a conversation. It's just an acknowledgement of somebody walking by you or
Yeah.
type. It's a courtesy thing. It's an acknowledgement that person's actually there and that you're there. It's kind of that thing. It's not like you want to know how their day is going or they want to know how your day is going. It's just an acknowledgement of each other
You need to
as
be
a
ready
courtesy.
to get it.
God just happened to find the person that actually answered his question.
Oh, it was horrible, man. It was literally horrible. I get like here. Most of the time, we are going to places that we're familiar with, and there are also places that we go a lot to. The supermarket, they know us, they see us, so you're always going to get that. Hey, good morning, how you doing? Back, But it's just weird being out there and thinking, that at least somebody would give me the fucking time of day. I shouldn't have to. I feel like
I think that guys get different.
Big city as friendly place.
Guys are treated different.
I mean, I didn't. I mean, that's the first thing I asked her. I was joking with her because I know I don't look homeless. I was like, "Do I look homeless?" Because that's what I thought. Maybe like, "Oh, this fucking homeless guy. What does he need to know what fucking time it is? Like he's got somewhere to go."
You have your invisibility cloak on, John?
Oh, man.
I think it's more so a guy thing doing that, because I can tell you that my experiences are very much different. I don't even say hi to people and people start fucking talking to me. I've had people break down in the middle of stores and start telling me shit and then cry as I give them a hug and being like, it's gonna be okay. I have that kind of shit happen to me at grocery stores a lot.
Yeah, well, see, I've always been that person. Like, if I'm walking down the street or I'm walking into a building, and if someone actually makes eye contact with me, I almost feel like I need to say, "Good morning, good afternoon, how you doing?" It's just something I've always done, and I don't expect other people to be that way, But I was always like, if someone takes the time to make eye contact with me, I usually going to say, "Good morning, good afternoon, how you doing? How's your day going?" But it was just weird. It was weird
that is different for men and it is different for women, because I could tell you in certain public settings, if you make eye contact with somebody and they look fucking insane, you don't necessarily want to start any kind of conversation.
I'm not undressing them with my fucking eyes, Jennifer.
But there are
hold on, let me wipe the drool off my face as I'm staring at.
But if he hits a green-eyed girl, he's just going to be unintelligible.
If it's a green-eyed girl, Johnny won't be able to say shit.
Yeah, he's not
he
going
won't
to
even be able to mutter "good morning."
He's gonna look like the homeless guy on the street corner road.
Well, here's the funniest part. At the hospital, this was the funniest one. But at the hospital, you come out the parking garage. You have to go up to the hospital floor and then have to walk around to another elevator to get to the inside of the hospital. So as we get there, and we're both walking, we come off the parking elevator, we get around. I didn't say nothing to her, but she was kind of paying attention to me because she was assuming I knew where I was going. So I kind of just walked in, put my mask on to start going over to the hospital elevator to go up. And I look over at her, I said, "Hey, how you doing? You having a good day?" And she just gives me this dirty look, and I could see it. The eyebrow thing you guys do, like, why? Who's this fucking guy? And she didn't say nothing to me. Then she gets in the elevator and she realizes that she's supposed to go down, but it's going up. So now she has to go the full fucking 9 floors up with me. I'm just
uncomfortable silence.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I just felt like
I would have farted.
if I would have had one coming, I would have.
Was she an employee or just somebody else?
I don't know.
Nice day.
Yeah, because I mean,
as the doors are closing,
most people in the hospital are not having a good day.
Right. You're right. I get that. I was thinking that. I was thinking that as well.
Yeah.
I was thinking that as well. But
something like it's not the icebreaker thing I would actually ask somebody.
No,
hey, how's your day going? Well, I don't know. As soon as I meet my doctor, I'll know. But
Yeah, it was just weird.
You don't necessarily want to ask that in a hospital. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I even did it at the pizza place where I went in and got 2 slices of pizza, and then I sat outside, and I thought, fuck, we're sitting right next to each other, I say, "Hey, how's it going, man?" Not a word. Just kept eating his fucking pizza, man, and didn't say a word to me, and it's just like, all right, man. I'm just like, whatever, dude. I mean, I'm not,
Well,
it was just weird.
There are some
Why
of
won't
us
you fucking talk to
that
me?
enjoy the silence of the day.
Yeah, I get that. I
You
mean,
should
but
just start talking shit and just making up stuff and just see how ridiculous you can get before the
I
person
thought
really
about doing
leaves
that. I thought
or
about doing
starts
that.
laughing.
And I figured I could get away with that in San Francisco. Like, oh, it's just another fucking nut job,
Exactly.
And I get that. I had that experience as well at the stoplight, and it was like 4 or 5 of us, and all of a sudden this little tiny 4'5" Asian woman, older, like 80 something years old, gets in between us, turns around and starts yelling at me in Chinese. I have no clue what she's saying, right? The Chinese guy's looking at me, he's going, she's just having bad day. She just had bad day. And I'm looking at her. I'm
probably cussing you out and saying all kinds
I had no idea what I did. I'm just standing there waiting for the light to turn. She's screaming at me. Well, I'm stepping back because she's got a fucking umbrella in her hand, dude. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Am I going to get beat down by an 80-year-old fucking Asian lady in San Francisco?
Are you in the car or are you walking?
I'm walking.
Oh.
And the guy kind of, the Asian guy kind of puts his hands on my chest and kind of pushes me back. And that's when he said, she had bad day. She had bad day. No worries. So I kind of like, the light turns, the thing says we can walk. So I'm like deciding, do I want to be in front of this bitch or do I want to be behind this bitch?
It's just a cranky old lady.
Oh, man. But he's like, no, stay back.
Yeah, he warned you. Beat somebody
But she was cuckoo because she kept yelling at everybody that was sitting outside eating. Yeah, she was something wrong with her, man. Because she's sitting there yelling. But it was all in Chinese, so nobody could understand what the hell she was saying.
Somebody get the translator
Well,
app.
no, she's probably pissed off because you guys are eating pizza. And she's probably going, no pizza, eat noodle. I make good noodle.
Oh,
No,
I kept.
you can't assume that.
The
That's
only
horrible.
word I could make out because she said it in English was money.
Money?
Money. That's the only word that she said in English.
Yeah,
it was
see,
money.
You eat pizza. I make no money. I make noodle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, that's the first time in my life that I was actually afraid of an 80-year-old woman, man. Because
She was just negotiating the happy ending.
Oh my God.
Maybe she wanted to rub my feet.
No.
Well, no, she was mad
A
because
liquid
you
acid
didn't go
in case
to the
if you run
massage
into
parlor
that
the night
scenario
before.
again. That's horrible.
I don't know. Do you think it's just the way society is today, or do you think it's regional, or do you think it's just because it's COVID and everyone's just kind of in that that mood? We're slowly getting to be outdoors. We're slowly kind of.
And the cases are going
I've
up
never
again.
considered the city,
Jesus
any
Christ.
big city, a friendly place to go and talk to people.
See, I love San Francisco, and me and Joe, we go all the time. We've always been really friendly there. All the years that I've been going there, it's always been friendly.
I guess it's where you are. Again, it depends because I hold doors open for people and they thank me, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's very rare that nobody does it. But again, it's where you are, who you are, that all makes a difference.
What were you going to say, Bob? Mr. Sharp.
Oh, nothing. I'm good.
Yeah,
I thought you pointed down.
I'm good.
he was talking to himself.
I did.
you talking
I was
to your-
agreeing with Bruce.
Oh, you were agreeing with Bruce? Yeah, I don't know.
agreeing
I've
with
never
Bruce.
had it. Yeah, I've never had any trouble there. I've always had a lot of friendly people. And me and Joey usually take Bart to Union Square and walk through Chinatown to Little Italy. And we've always had nice, friendly
Because
people.
Those places are going to be nicer. I love, like here in Southern California, if I go to Little Tokyo or Chinatown or Koreatown, everybody's always nice. They're very welcoming, very nice. I've never had any problems.
I don't know. I kind of think that a lot of people are just in that COVID anger. They got that COVID anger going on, and it really makes it hard because I like, when you're walking down the street, not being able to see someone's face, kind of, you don't know. Cause can you guys walk down the street and know if someone's having a bad day? Right, Mike? Can you?
Actually,
Just walking
their body language, it just depends. Because if they're,
Are you Mike, Jen? Are you Mike,
no,
Jen?
sorry.
All right.
No, I mean, I guess. I mean, you can kind of.
I could
tell
see it.
by their facial expression and what kind of day someone's having. But like I said, I think it's a lot of it just has to do with one, California, and two, you're in San Francisco, dude. Like, trust me, I've worked in that area for over 10 years now, and I've always lived here. And anytime I've gone anywhere else, it's just different. We just not. I mean, you even go over to Nevada, and it's not the same. People are just nicer. And then you go to, any of the Midwest, Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas, anywhere like that. You're gonna have assholes everywhere, but as a whole, generally, people. Are
you're not gonna get a good morning
to
back.
Say, hey, how's your day going? Or good morning. That's a normal thing.
Yeah. You're not going to get a good morning
stuff like that, but
in New York. I just didn't assume that San Francisco was that much like New York.
San Francisco's just like New York.
New York, they'll just punch you in the face.
What you got going on? They don't. They don't care. They only care about what they have going on.
Yeah.
And that's it. And people don't realize it's the little things. Like, people think, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, people from New York are just like, oh, we're nice people. That's just how we are. And it's like, yeah, but you don't realize that. And then you get upset when people are assholes, and you get upset when people treat people wrong. And it's like, you don't realize that it stems from just those little things of just people just not being courteous to people, or not being willing to take time out of your day just to say good morning, or hold the door for someone, or something like that. People don't realize it's those things. It's a step. Everything is a step in one direction or another. That's probably one of the biggest things I've learned as I've gotten older, is people think, oh, that's not going to lead to that. And it's like, no, everything leads to something.
Yeah. You could change someone's whole perspective.
Everything in life.
It's a feel-good moment, is what it is. I mean, if you, like you said, you say something to somebody, a nicety, and you get a nicety response back, it's kind of that feel-good moment. Wow, man, we're all.
It's just like Bruce said. It's acknowledging someone.
Yeah. Just
acknowledge.
acknowledge.
All people want is just to be acknowledged. Maybe that person doesn't have anybody. Maybe they just really are kind of like alone, don't have family or whatever, and you just acknowledging. I mean, something as small as that, just saying good morning or saying, hey, how are you doing? How's your day going? Like, I mean, people don't realize that something that small could mean a world to somebody else, because they're struggling inside.
Exactly.
And then they just like, oh, well, this random person acknowledged me.
Yep.
So
that's why
good for you too.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, I always thought that, getting that good morning and acknowledging someone, they may be having a bad day, like you're saying. It could change their whole perspective for the rest of the day. Just cheer them up and make them a little happier, instead of just.
You could be the one having the bad day, and somebody's
right.
You do.
Yeah. And it's good for you also. Like, that's why they say, like, people that are like givers, people that like to give to charities and stuff like that. Or just people that like to, go down to the kitchens and serve food to the home, stuff like that. They do it a lot for them too, which, you just saying good morning to somebody, it may seem small, but it can give you some gratification, or give you, bring your spirits up when that person reciprocates that to you.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So you fuckers out there that are not saying good morning, get your fucking shit together. Say good morning.
Why are you talking like that?
Yeah, good afternoon. You don't have to ask me how my day is, but a fucking good morning back is fine. I mean, it's not going to fucking kill you.
People acknowledge each other.
That should be your next test, John. You need to go out there and go, hey, fucker, good morning.
Oh, I start with the fucker? Oh, that would, yeah. Hey, fucker.
Good morning.
I will be broadcasting next episode from fucking Memorial Hospital is what I will be doing. Hey, I'll be asking the guys at Memorial, hey, how's the Wi-Fi here?
Shit.
Oh no! I
guarantee you, John, you could look up I guarantee you somebody's done a study about this. I guarantee you there's somebody that has traveled from city to city, state to state.
Oh, there's a list. I have a list, and I'm kind of shocked. I'm kind of shocked at the cities that are at the top because I didn't picture these cities being the most friendly places in the U.S. I really didn't. We'll get to that one. But yeah, I mean, I've told this story before about Robert. You know, the first time Joey moved here, and Robert came to visit Joey, and Robert spent that one day by himself, kind of going to Rayleigh's and going to the stores. And I get back to Joey's house, and we're swimming in the pool. I said, "Hey, Robert, how's everything going? You like Modesto?" He goes, "Yeah, I love Modesto, but why does everybody keep asking me how my fucking day is? What do they care?" That's South Philly. That's South Philly hardcore right there.
Nosy bastards. Why do they want to know this?
He's like, what the fuck do they care about my days going? I'm like, dude, Robert, that's like, you're gonna get that everywhere you go, dude. Here, and I don't think that's changed in Modesto. I really don't, because I think I can walk. I bet you if I could walk up to 10 people, how many hellos back do you think I'm gonna get here in Modesto?
Where you are?
Oh, quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
It's working class people.
I mean, I noticed it just moving from the Bay Area to Modesto. That was one of the first things that we, the wife and I talked about when we moved over here was, damn it, everybody's so freaking friendly.
Yeah. Did you throw out, what the fuck you care how my day's going?
No, it was pleasant, because most of the time nobody gave you the time of day in the Bay Area, It was like busy. And you come over here.
It is a shocker for them because I noticed that the first time in a couple places that I lived when just in the late 90s when we had that big push of people from the Bay Area moving in this area and just kind of like, oh, you guys are out. You guys mow your lawn. You guys are out talking to each other. They were kind of afraid to come over to your garage and hang out with you because they didn't do that over there. They didn't do that in the Bay Area. And it's like, oh, yeah, come on over. Have a beer, It's kind of strange. So I guess it makes a little bit of a difference. I'm going to give you the top 10 friendliest cities in the U.S. And I'm going to start with, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, let's go further down. Number 10. Okay, number 10. And I don't know. I've been there. It's been a while, but Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas. Anybody?
Never been to Texas.
Yeah, it's Texas.
I've been to Texas, but
I mean, they are more.
I've been in Houston Airport.
Yeah.
I mean, Austin is a little bit more liberal, but it's still Texas.
Yeah, once a small college town, the capital city has grown into a haven of restaurants, hotels, shops, not to mention countless startups. But despite the reality, the influx of tech money, it just talks about how it has a lot of hipsters there. And I don't know, are hipsters like super friendly? Maybe hipsters are super friendly.
Again, it depends. I've never had any problems with them.
Come sit down and drink some of my fucking tea with me, man. Number 9 makes sense to me because I've heard a lot of positive things about Nashville, and I can see Nashville being on that list at number 9.
Yeah.
Anybody ever been to Nashville?
Yeah, I have.
I've been to Nashville.
Did you get that sense of? Yeah.
When I went there though, I got to go to the Grand Ole Opry and check that out and see the huge guitar sign and everything, and it was just, for me, it was being in a place where country music and that soul is there. So
did you go to the original one or the new one?
The original one. They weren't open, but I was outside the building. And I was like, this is where this is where
Well, I think you get that. Yeah.
Dolly.
You get that southern hospitality. I think even in Nashville.
All of the wonderful artists that came out of there. So for me, it was something that had to do with music and art, and it was just that energy of that.
All right, number 8. I don't know how they got on this list. Maybe it is. I guess maybe everyone's so fucking drunk that it doesn't matter. But New Orleans is number 8.
Wonderful.
Look at Bob shaking his head. I don't know, man.
I've never been there.
No, you've never been there?
No.
I have, and it was in the murkiest, freaking sweatiest time of the year. It was like July or August. It was hot as hell, but the strip, Bourbon Street, everybody was so nice. It wasn't packed like.
Okay, but right here, the first sentence, it says never leave the French Quarters. So.
Oh, I love the French Quarters. I gotta be.
It says never leave the French Quarters. So how can
there's some nasty areas in New Orleans, man.
That's what I'm saying. What are they talking about? Like 3 square block area being.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to people up there, and they said you want to stay in the tourist area, because if you wander outside of the tourist area, it's you're in trouble.
Number 7, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah.
See, I heard Santa Fe is a rough town, man.
Santa Fe, any of you guys? I've been to Santa Fe, but in the late 90s. Go ahead, Bob.
It all depends on what side of town you're on.
Yeah, I heard it
off
was a rough town.
You're good. But the bad part of town, don't go.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking myself. I've been to Santa Fe. I moved some people there. But like I said, that was early 90s, and it was a whole different. It's not what I'm looking at this picture. Now, number 6 is a place that I wouldn't mind fucking living. Key West, Florida, man. Yay or nay? Anybody?
But I've been to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville was awesome.
Yeah, I've been to Naples and Orlando, and yeah. And they were fine.
Just in general, Florida's probably, people living by especially people that live by the water and stuff.
Happy people.
Happy
more
people.
Relaxed people. Well, and they got a great governor, so.
Happy and I wouldn't say majority of.
I mean,
but you got to think though, Key West, that's a tourist area, so you got to figure there's a lot of retirees.
A lot of retirees. There are a lot of artists there.
A lot of artists.
Yeah.
Number 5, Charleston, South Carolina. Enjoy the Southern Hospitality. Yeah. Now, see, I can see that because just knowing, I will get a hello, good morning. I'll get a hun. I'll get a sweetheart. I'll get a what other common phrases are you gonna get in Carolina?
You definitely get that.
You all,
darling.
Y'all, darling.
You might not get a darling, but I hope not.
Hey.
You want some sweet tea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Antonio, Texas.
Allison.
Yeah, that's right. Allison is from there. That's right. San Antonio, Texas. Again, 2 cities in Texas as the friendliest places in the country. I have been to San Antonio, Texas, and I'm going to tell you back then it was a lot of drugs there. So I don't know how much has changed.
It's still another rough town like New Mexico, Santa Fe.
San Juan, Puerto Rico. Now I go to San Juan, Puerto Rico. You guys none of you guys ever been. Bruce, have you ever traveled over there on your vacation?
No, I know some people have bought property down there, but I don't know if it's in San Juan. It might be someplace else.
I'm starting to get a feeling that a lot of these places are by water, which make people happy.
Yeah.
Alexandria, Virginia.
San Antonio, except for the river.
No, there's no water in San Antonio.
Santa Fe don't have much of an ocean either.
No. Alexandria, Virginia. Isn't that in the Washington, D.C. area? Is it amazing there?
You gotta drive on 95 to get into D.C., but all the bad people live in D.C. So once you get to Alexandria, you're all happy because it's well-to-do people.
And number 1, Greenville, South Carolina. Let's all go. Let's all go to Greenville, South Carolina, and see how fucking friendly they really are.
It's Greenville, not Greenville. It's Greenville.
Greenville. That's what I said, didn't
Greenville.
I? No. It's the vodka cranberry juice kicking in. Mike, Modesto didn't make the list, guys. What happened?
Oh, no.
Because it's a shithole.
Hey,
I've lived there. I can say whatever the fuck I want. I can't stand Modesto. It's number
LA
one.
didn't make the list.
You know what? It's number 1 for Grand Theft Auto and meth. So you have your your Modesto, and you know what? I live in Buena Park, so I don't live in Los Angeles County. I live in Orange County. Thank you very much.
Somebody posted a video the other day on, I don't know who it was, but their Ring doorbell, and the dude's pulled up in a fucking U-Haul truck to steal his fucking catalytic converter out of his truck. And he came out with a baseball bat, and he's fucking dude. You can see the dude's face like he's shocked. Oh no, we're looking for address. He's got all these tools in his hand, a grinder, all this shit in his hands. Okay, you weren't about to fucking take my catalytic converter off my fucking Chevy pickup. Not at all. Oh, yeah, Modesto didn't make the list. Manteca, Ripon didn't make the list. Ceres, California didn't make the list. Turlock did.
Did any place in California make the list?
No, 0, not 1, which is kind of shocking.
No, it's not. Kind of shocking.
It's not shocking at all. What the fuck are you talking about? California.
No, but I think Mike, honestly, because I don't know how far north you've been in California, but I think once you get past Sacramento, you start getting a different breed of people. And I think you get a little bit more of a friendlier group, a more conservative group when you start moving
been to
past
Oregon.
Well, Oregon. Now that's
south enough for you, or north enough.
North.
Yeah,
Bob?
John, I've been all up north. I've been all through there.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bob. What were you going to say?
Go up to the foothills. Go to like Sonora, Twain Harte, Pinecrest, Arnold.
Oh, that's a little different.
Arnold,
yeah, friendly, nice people. Just don't step on their property. That's all. You're okay as long as you don't get caught on their property up in that area. Now you noticed all the signs when you get up there. There are a lot more signs. Yeah, there's a lot more signs than I remember being up there about staying off your property.
You don't walk into an illegal marijuana grow.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Well, there's a lot of homeless that go up there and they camp.
I didn't see any homeless this last time I was up there. It was actually, I did notice a lot of don't trespass, more than normal than I remember seeing up there. I think people are from the Bay Area are starting to buy homes out in that area. They're starting to buy property. They're starting to build cabins out in that area. And I think in the foothills, I think people are starting to get a little bit, getting a little bit more on the edge because they just don't like the group, the type of people that are moving into those areas, I mean, it's got, you've been there 50, 60 years, you live in the same friggin' cabin, all of a sudden you get some dude that buys your neighbor's property, tears down the cabin, puts up this fucking mansion, and now you got this little house and he's bitching about your dog barking and your fucking chickens running free, and I can see where you can be. You know what I'm talking about, Mike.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Because that's happening in what is that? Big Trees area, where you're starting to get a lot of people from the Bay Area heading over there and buying starting to buy up property and starting to build these monster fucking cabins. I mean, just
monster. Doing it in Montana.
Yeah, in Montana. I could see where you grew up in Calaveras County, or you grew up in Pinecrest, and you have a modest home and you're comfortable and you're happy, and all of a sudden you got some city guy coming in there and telling you that you got to put up a fence, you can't have your fucking chickens running around, you can't have your whatnots, and yeah, it kind of pissed me off, I guess. I don't know.
Actually,
what do you think?
Cabins
Go ahead,
don't
Bob.
have chickens because because of the mountain lions and the foxes and things like that.
Well, they got some kind of farm animals, like goats. I don't know. Fuck, I saw some goats up there.
Yeah, you can build those chicken coops pretty
Okay.
predator safe though. I have a lady friend that lives in Montana, and she's got a good chicken coop that's pretty much, predator free, unless it's a giant bear coming in. But the bears don't really do it.
Yeah, I don't think a bear is gonna have a hard time with some chicken wire.
But you have to put in like the big birds that are more aggressive. If you got a chicken, you want to put some turkeys in there.
Yeah, you got turkeys running around.
Because turkeys can get, they're kind of aggressive birds.
All right, I wanted to talk a little bit about this because this is something that's been, I'm sure everyone else has been seeing this on their news feeds. And being a child of the 80s, most of us are. Jennifer, Bob, Bruce, he's an adult in the 80s. But there's a lot of great movies that have came out. And let's be honest, some stuff that's come out when you were a teenager too, Bruce, that's being called out now today. And saying how sexist it was, or that's, all this other nonsense about music and it's rapey and all this other bullshit. And this is just not applied just to movies, but some other things that I've been noticing here lately. It's almost like they're trying to wipe out all of our generations that we grew up on. And I know a lot of us don't feel this way. A movie's a movie. And Paramount Pictures isn't twisting your arm to watch this fucking movie.
No, but don't get a Dr. Seuss book, because those are not.
I mean, even Dr. Seuss. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I mean,
Pull
nobody
him out of the library, man.
It's almost getting to that point where what's next? Are we going to have fucking book burning parties out in front of the fucking library? All these classic books that are going to be torn and classic. When I say classic movies, I'm not, I'm kind of stretching it there. 16 Candles isn't a classic movie, but it's a movie that represents the 80s and the way things were. And, it kind of pissed me off seeing that thing, where they were talking about how it's rapey. And I'm thinking, you know what? Come on, please. You weren't a fucking teenager at one point in time in your life. You don't think they're representing what things were like in the 80s in high school. Am I right?
I mean, think of the sitcoms that we watched growing up that would never be made nowadays,
No.
Arts, All in the Family, Sanford and Son. Any of those.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jen.
They would make them now.
No.
Okay. It is not that anyone is trying to eliminate or remove.
They're eliminating.
Let me, please. It is not that anyone is eliminating or trying to remove the shows. People can still watch the shows and they can make their determination. It is outlining and making a point of showing, hey, this was from a different time. We're going to go ahead and let you know that this stuff is not okay to do. This is not how the world runs right now. This was at their time. And yes, there was rapey stuff in 16 Candles. There was also racist stuff. And in some of the shows back then, that was part of the humor and everything. It was part of that genre. But just because something's part of a genre doesn't necessarily make it right. So they're not removing it. They're just saying, okay, this is how things were back then. These were, funny movies and stuff, but understand A, B, and C does happen to go on, and that's not acceptable actions. That's not an acceptable way to act. Like Porky's. You wouldn't want anybody drilling fucking holes in the walls of a shower room with girls.
I know that penis.
That's peeping Tom. That's not okay, and it's like people can get arrested.
All four of us guys started laughing.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that are done in movies that you shouldn't do.
Exactly.
Right.
So they're not getting rid of
but
them.
I don't. Does that do like when they make Saw or whatever? Do they need to put a disclaimer on the front of the thing? Don't go and kill people.
Well, no. And the thing is that that's a horror movie. These were these were considered teenage movies back when we were kids, and they were rapey. They were rapey. They were racist.
Was Porky's a teenage movie?
Yeah, Porky's was. People were watching it. My parents let me watch that shit when I was.
No, hey, Jen.
We're dealing with
we watched everything.
You snuck those movies.
No, we didn't sneak those movies. My parents would watch them in the open for all of us to see. My aunt accidentally got.
But hey, Porky's.
Porn version.
I'm going to defend
it at his birthday party on
Porky's.
VCR.
Porky's was rated R, if I remember correctly. You had to be.
Didn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, my parents had VCRs. My dad had all that electronic shit. They didn't care.
We're living in a society now that they have to put instructions on the pizza box that says take the pizza out of the box before you eat it.
No, but movies should have.
Okay.
Bob's brain is just twisting around.
Being rated R. Being rated R is you have to be. I think you got to be 18 to go to the movies to see rated
17.
R. Correct.
Rated R has to be 18, and
17.
back then. It wasn't. Go ahead, Bob. I know you want to say something. I could see your wheels spinning.
Well, okay. On the guys on this panel, how many of you have ever drilled a hole in a girl's locker room and shoved your dick through it? None. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Done.
So when we were
watching
watching,
prison, so
we were laughing at these movies. We laughed because they're funny. Okay, we laughed because they were funny. We never considered watching a scene and going out and raping a woman because that's not how we all grew up. That's not how life was. I don't need someone 40 years later telling me, well, this movie was wrong because I feel it was rapey. I feel it was rapey. Okay, fine. If you feel it's rapey, that's your choice. Good for you. A lot of us don't feel that way, okay? Yeah. If I watch a movie now where there's a lot of like all the characters are now homosexuality and gay, I don't complain anything about it. You know what I do? I turn the fucking channel because I'm an adult. I'm not a little whiny. My feelings are hurt. Listen to me whine. I turn the channel.
Yeah. And Jennifer, they are trying to get these movies taken out. They're trying to force streaming services not to play these movies, and that's why they're taking them off the networks.
Netflix plays whatever the fuck they want.
Oh, now they do. Once they realized they were losing subscribers.
The thing that it is, it's not that. Again, I'm not for erasing.
No. I know you're not.
I have Blazing Saddles on DVD, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I understand, but I know that was satire. I know that it was based off of making fun of the racist nature of that time frame.
Right.
I know that. But if somebody didn't necessarily know that and decided just to watch it, they may be a little disturbed. That's all I'm saying. And in 16
all right, well, okay, let's take that movie. How long do you have to get into Blazing Saddles before you realize that you need to change the channel?
Immediately.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you, in 16 Candles, which I own that movie too. It's one of my favorite 80s movies. The fact of the matter is that Jake hands his passed out girlfriend to the king of the nerds and says, she's upstairs passed out right now, and I could have sex with her in all these different ways, and she wouldn't know any better. That is not okay. And then handing him to the king of the nerds and saying, just don't fuck up my dad's car, basically, and have a good time with a 6-pack of beer. That is not, she was passed out.
That's classic humor right there.
No, that's rapey. That's not okay. That's
obviously, but like Bob said, I mean,
it's just the portrayal of it. That's all.
Yeah.
I still own the movie. I just understand that.
Well, you're different. You're Gen X. You're not that new generation that wants to wipe out everything that's been out already that we have all gotten to watch. I mean, attacking. I mean, this is all. This goes back. Let me think here. How far? When was the PC crowd big? Is it the early '90s, Bob?
They have a movie called PCU. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was early '90s, and then it kind of
and it makes fun of everything.
PCU is an incredible movie, And if you can't understand the stupidity and all these different groups offended by every little thing, then you just don't understand life. But it's a fast movie. It's a great movie. I suggest everybody piece to university.
Yeah.
Especially right now. They'll see
the stupidity of it. I mean, this isn't new, and I'm going to be honest. This isn't new. I mean, this goes back generations. I mean, we had that group, and like I said, in the early '90s, that were trying to wipe out shows like Married with Children, trying to wipe out shows like fucking pretty much everything Fox had. I think they were trying to wipe out. Fox kind of drew the line and kind of stepped over it a little bit every now and then with some of their shows. But I mean, it just, to me, it seems like it's getting to the point where it's just like, are people forgetting they have options? They have choices. You don't have to watch this movie. You don't have to. If Netflix has it, it's there. It's there, obviously, because there are some people that do want to see this movie. Maybe you don't want to watch it. Like Bob says, there might be shows that, there's some homosexuality. I really don't want to deal with it. I don't want to watch it. And I choose not to watch it. And I don't watch certain series on Netflix because that, they dabble in that. And that's just something I really don't have any interest in. So I'm not going to pay attention to it. I'm not going to watch it. But I'm not going to fucking write an email to fucking Netflix and cry like a baby that they're producing this show on Netflix. Because obviously,
the point that you're missing, John, is that people want the problem is you can have a problem with whatever you want. That's You're right. That's okay. Yeah. But when you try to vilify somebody else for not having the same opinion or not thinking the same way you do, or when it's because people want to force you to live in their world.
Yeah.
Because that's how they feel about something. Mm-hmm. And that's not necessary. You can feel however you want. Right. I don't feel that way about it. So leave it alone. You don't like a show or you don't like a movie or what, turn it off. Yeah, you don't need to get on social media and try to rile people up and be like, oh, anybody that watches this is horrible. Anybody that, is, you shouldn't do that. It's like this whole gun thing going on right now with that tragedy that happened in Texas.
Yeah. And
you got people getting on TV saying that anybody that is okay or anybody that owns AR-15 or just anybody that owns guns is horrible and doesn't care about kids' lives and doesn't care that kids are and care more about having their little gun than they do about kids getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's they're trying to push how they feel about something on other people, and they're trying to get other people behind them by trying to vilify people that feel that it's okay to own guns and own especially certain types of guns. And so all they got to do is vilify these people by saying, oh, you care more about that than you care about these little kids. And that's how they do it. It's the same thing with movies and stuff like that. Oh, you like that kind of stuff. You like that. And
you're a pervert.
And so, or you're a pervert or you're a racist because you like this type of movie or whatever. It's just, the problem is people just can't leave other people alone.
Right. And keep in mind too, that Porky's, I think a lot of people forget, Porky's, that's based in the 50s. That's not based in 1960 or 1970. It's 1980. It's a 1950s. Yeah, it's a 1950s movies, and they pretty much portrayed what the 50s were like for a lot of black people in that time. Yeah, it was horrible, but you can't just erase that.
No, I'm not saying to.
Yeah, no, I know you're not, but there are some people out there.
But there are a lot of people that would say that you should get rid of it because
it needs to go.
Crying out loud, look at Blue Lagoon. It was about incest between two children that stuck on an island.
She did sign a waiver, though. She sign a waiver.
She was, 13 or 14 years old? And it was this incestuous relationship? Come on.
Well, he was only a couple years older than her.
Yeah, it's like Game of Thrones.
They were siblings.
I know, Jen. I like pushing your buttons a little bit. Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. I just, because the post that I read, it's not about just sharing your opinion. It's about wiping out all these movies. And it's just like, these movies need to go. Netflix shouldn't be showing this. TBS shouldn't be showing this movie.
I have one for you. The one with Glenn Close where she cooks the fucking pet rabbit. PETA will be all over that shit.
Oh, today? Jesus Christ. Fucking Peter would have a shitstorm.
Fatal attraction. She boiled the bunny, so it would be bad.
Well, this got me thinking because I hang out with Brandon and Mike, and they watch some fucking Brandon especially likes to watch some freaky ass fucking movies and likes to torture the shit out of me with some of these. We just watched the movie the other night. Me and Mike both looked at each other like, why are we fucking watching this, dude? What movie?
Is it horror?
Oh no, we watched some pretty foul movies.
Yeah.
Like what? Give me
Spit on Your Grave every single episode.
The worst one is I Spit on Your Grave or Spit on Your Grave.
Okay.
It's rough. It's a rough movie.
But hanging out with them, I've also seen some other movies that have come out in the early 2000s, late and mid 2000s. That one, what was the name of that one movie with the big huge party? The guy's walking around kind of filming it, and they're doing ecstasy. Yeah, I mean, give me a break. There's no rapey scenes in that fucking movie. There's not drugs related in that fucking movie.
What movie?
Project X.
Project X, the one, it's supposed to be based on a true, kind of loosely based on a true story, I think, where a kid throws a party and it literally gets so big and so out of control that it just pretty much ends up with the house getting like flooded and caught on fire and like
but it's a documentary.
destroyed.
It's kind of
the
like
police,
a documentary or
kind of.
Yeah,
but
every single police.
Not necessarily. I mean, it's a movie, but I think it's supposed to be loosely based on
true events.
True events, yeah.
That's going to be different. You're going to have movies like that based on true events as well. So I'm not saying to.
Yeah, and how about every? Go ahead, Bob.
Go ahead, Bob.
Well, no, I just wanted to make a public disclaimer. I'm not against people being gay, okay? Because I love Cam and Mitchell on Modern Family. I watch every episode of Modern Family. I just want to put it out there that I'm not against gay people. All right,
Bob's covering his bases.
Cam and Mitchell are awesome.
Just because you don't want to watch two dudes make out or make love doesn't make you homophobic.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. So, that's not your cup of tea. You don't feel like you need to watch that.
But see, John, we're talking about these movies. Like, we're talking about, Porky's and all this stuff. But you guys probably don't know what it is. Jen might. The TV show Euphoria.
Yeah, Euphoria.
Okay, so super popular show.
Yeah.
And it's based off of kids in high school. Like, it's like the kids are supposed to be high school kids. And this is a huge show right now. And literally the opening scene, I think it's the opening scene of, or like the very beginning of season 1, episode 1, is borderline. It's pretty much a transgender, like 17-year-old meets up with an older guy, like a grown-ass adult at a hotel room, and pretty much rapes the 17-year-old transgender kid. That's like the opening thing of this show.
Yeah.
Like this show is so rough, I stopped watching it. Like I got like 5 episodes in and I was like, okay, I can't. Like
too much.
It's just so much. And they're supposed to be high school kids, and it's just like, so much.
I just watched American Horror Story.
Mike's like, fuck it. Thank God I'm 30, man. Fuck, I don't want to be a teenager.
Dude, it just makes it seem like the worst thing that could have happened at every high school is happening to all these kids at the same high school. Like all this crazy shit, and it's just sick. And it's just like, dude, like this is like what is appropriate now. Like it's okay for that. Like, but we're trying to cancel like these old movies or trying to say all this old stuff was bad. But this is the kind of crap you guys are putting out now. Like high school kids.
And you wonder why they're so twisted. I mean,
oh yeah, and they wonder why kids have issues and are like suicide is through the roof and all this other bullshit. And it's like, god damn, dude, you guys are just portraying all this horrible shit happening.
Well, it makes you wonder too. Is like, okay, like for me, is Jackson and Aiden, my grandsons, are 20 years from now, are they going to be in the same situation with the current movies and TV shows that are coming out now? That they're going to eventually watch, like this show that you're talking about, and it makes you wonder how they're going to react. Like, what the fuck was going on in 2022, man?
On back then, yeah.
It's like, what was wrong with those people?
I mean, you would think that it would go that way because I mean, just look at society and look at how we've gone. Like, we progressively get more politically correct and all this, whatever words you want to use, whatever words you want to use. We just, if you keep looking back, it's just more. We go more that way, but it's turned more into trying to force that on people.
Right.
Like, I truly believe that the best times and the most completely accepting time, at least or generation, is probably my generation. As far as people. Like
Gen Z. You're Gen Z.
No, I'm a millennial.
Oh, you're a millennial.
I'm the first year of millennials.
Yeah.
Millennials are woke as fuck.
The younger ones. I'm at I'm almost at the beginning.
Yeah.
But not necessarily. I mean, I would say it's the ones right after us because millennials are like, I think it stops in 96. So I'm kind of right in the middle. But I think millennial stops at like 96. So it's kids that are like 26 years old, 27.
Millennials.
So the younger ones are maybe a little woke. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like, except like when we were in school, it wasn't like, I mean, gay was kind of a weird thing still at that point, but we weren't like, it was just like, oh, whatever, but in like, even like race, like we didn't even think about.
You didn't care. You didn't care.
We didn't care. We didn't talk about it. Like it never got brought up. We just, I mean, everybody was just like, just around everybody. It wasn't, and we didn't try to overcompensate. Like, oh, these are my black friends or like anything like that. Like
it was just name basis.
When I was growing up, two of my best friends all through high school were black guys. They were best friends, and they were literally like, that's who I hung out with, like even during the week. Not just, we didn't even go to the same schools.
Right.
We met through church, and it was just and through mutual friends, and it was just, that's who I hung out with. But it wasn't like a thing. Like we didn't talk about it like that. And now it's just like everybody's so hypersensitive about things, and I'm like, I almost feel like if we wouldn't have gotten so woke that it would have continued to die out. Like no matter what people want to say, since the 60s, racism has slowly been dying. And I feel like if things wouldn't have turned the way they did in the last 15 years or so, it would have borderline died with my generation, because the average millennial does not give two fucks about race. Like they just don't. I mean, you're going to get your outliers, but we grew up together. So when we grow up together, of course. Yeah, it does depend where you live. I mean, if you go to backwoods Alabama or out in the sticks in Texas where there's no black people, like that normal racist bullshit. But as a whole, like we all grew up together. It took a couple of generations, but after the civil rights movement and all that, like, I mean, it was normal for all races to go to school together. And when you grow up together like that, you make friends with people that are of other races, and it just becomes normal to you. And that's where I felt like we were, especially with my generation, we were there. Like it was just
in that.
Millennials are 81 to 96.
Yeah. It was, so 20 years or so after this beginning of it was 20 years after the civil rights, or 15 to 20 years after the civil rights. And like me, I was 90, so I'm 30 years removed from the civil rights movement. Like, it was normal, and when you put kids together and you guys grow up together, I mean, we don't, even if some people are a little racist, like, kids don't see it like that. They're like, oh no, that's my friend. Like, I grew up with him. Like, he's the same as me. He was in the same class as me.
Yeah.
We did the same sports together, all that kind of stuff. So it's just, I think it goes along with a lot of other things too. Like,
remember, you were raised by Gen X. We made that happen.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was, and it depends on, faith and stuff too. Like, your family's Christian, or Catholic, my family's Christian. That helps
Bob.
a lot. Go ahead, Bob.
All right.
Go ahead, Boomer.
In the 70s, I grew up on a military base, and I'd say 40% of my friends were black because we all were on the same base, and all of our parents had the same jobs. My dad used to pick cotton with black people because white and black people back in the day picked cotton before the Mexicans got here. Okay?
Yeah.
So, it all depends on how you're raised. It's kids are not born racist. Kids are learned racism.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I never had a problem because ever since I was a little kid, I always lived around black people and they were my friends. But it's how you're raised.
It was different for military too.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of curious, because I know how my parents reacted to the movies that I watched. And a lot of times my dad said, and I quote my father, "What is this shit you're watching?" Because that was his response. And now I have to think of the movies, the type of movies my parents watched, in the late 50s, early 60s, much different than the movies that we started watching in the 80s. So I'm kind of curious for you, Bruce, as you were growing up, what kind of response did you get from your parents on the type of movies that you were watching?
I don't know if there was anything I thought that was crazy that we were watching. I mean, most of the time it was shit. Growing up, I don't remember.
I don't remember going to the movie theater.
I mean, as we would do it, we had, the summertime, they had the rec center open where you'd pay 50 cents and go down, and the kids would all get dumped off, and we'd sit there in an auditorium and watch a kids movie of some sort, but nothing first run.
Yeah, it might have been a little different. It might have been a little different for you.
You remember when I growing up, there was 4 channels on the TV, John.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
4 network TVs, and they went off at midnight.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say there wasn't the big advertisement for the movies on TV and stuff like there is today. Yeah. So your parents really didn't kind of.
I grew up with watching was Jerry Lewis or the Three
Stooges, yeah,
or that type stuff, Beverly Hillbillies, What
was your reaction to when your daughter started going to see movies? Because your daughter's about Mike's age, so there's some movies there.
My daughter's 41.
Your daughter's 41, so never mind. You're not close to Mike. So how was your reaction when you saw the movies that your daughter was seeing? Did you have the same type of response that we're seeing today from parents?
I mean, it was typically, if, the ratings stood, back in those days with the theaters, it was.
Oh, you got in, Bruce. You got in. You found a way to get in.
They were all, most of them, if they were in humor, they never took it seriously because it was entertainment. It wasn't real life.
His movies were different. Now you have 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, it was. I mean, movies were entertainment. It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't real.
It's
life,
entertaining,
right?
all right.
It was. It was fun. It was make believe. It was.
Well, that's what I think. I think your generation separated Hollywood from real life. And I think that's where this generation today, for some reason, can't separate those two things. They can't separate the story from real life. This is a movie.
Games were, Pac-Man and Pong.
Oh, so you guys had a dot. You guys just follow the fucking dot around.
Battle thing, we didn't have the violent games that are on videos.
Do you remember at any point in time telling your daughter she can't see this movie?
No, I was probably more the wife keep it.
Do you remember what movie it was? Do you remember? You have any idea what movie it was?
That was the wife's thing because she She was home with the kid. I was working and doing the commute and all that stuff. So
Magic Mike.
yeah,
Magic Mike. I
I
can see
think-
your what? No, that's too. Yeah.
man, I wouldn't watch. I still haven't watched that movie.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
How about you, Bob? What's the first movie your dad said no? You can't see that movie.
I don't recall my father ever telling me I couldn't see any movie.
Yeah,
Oh, you couldn't see.
No, I don't remember ever being said no. You can't watch
No.
that. 'Cause I don't
Can't
think
watch-
there was any really crazy movies out when I was growing up that it was entertainment.
Yeah, by the time the movies kind of started getting a little edgy, you were already an adult,
Yeah,
pretty much,
I think
in
so.
the 80s.
Well, even when I was 16, I had a job. I had my own car. My parents didn't know where I was when I was out. I just had to be home at midnight.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they
that
had no
was
idea
pretty
what I
much
was
my
doing.
rule.
Yeah,
Yeah, same thing. I paid rent when I was in high school.
yeah,
I went to school.
Yeah.
I worked part time. I paid rent to my mom. So I didn't have to. I didn't really have rules.
yeah.
If I said I was gonna be home for dinner, I better be home for dinner. If I wasn't, then I wasn't.
And you didn't eat. Nobody. How about you, Mike? What was the first movie you remember your parents saying no fucking way?
I was kind of the same thing. Like, so I knew we weren't. I mean, my parents were
Your
They
parents
still
are
are
very
Christian.
religious. Yeah,
very, very Christian, but more so back then.
yeah,
It was a lot more strict when I was a kid than they are now.
yeah.
Like, my parents didn't even drink probably didn't even start drinking wine until I was probably a late teenager. So, so we knew we weren't allowed to watch certain movies. We just weren't. So this will make you guys laugh. My parents used to have this thing. I think it was called Curse Free or something like that. It was literally like a thing that you could plug in, like you would plug the cable or the VCR into it and run it through it, and then from that you would hook it up to the TV, and it would literally bleep out like the cuss words and stuff.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah, I forget what. I'll see if I could, because it was like this little black box. It was super funny, and you could set the settings like on how strict you wanted it to be, and it would be funny because like if it wasn't turned on or like we turned it off when my dad wasn't around, and then a cuss word came out, he'd be like, "What the heck is this thing not working?" Da, 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 and then he'd go turn it back on. But I think it was called like a curse free or curse box, or it was pretty funny. But
you should put
yeah,
Pulp Fiction on.
yeah, because we weren't allowed to listen. We weren't allowed to say cuss words or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't. When I was gone, I was allowed quite a bit of freedom because I went homeschooled when I was 16 and got a full-time job. So, I would go out and go to movies and everything I wanted to see. I saw it, at my cousin's house and went with him to go see everything, and that's where I drank and stuff because I just, I wasn't allowed
That's where
to
you
do
got
that
bad.
stuff at home.
That's where Mike got bad.
To an extent, but my dad raised me to be responsible, so I never let it go too far.
I mean, I was raised to know what right and wrong was, and
Yep.
all that good stuff. It was like
Exactly.
you know.
My friends knew I was down to go have fun, but I always had my limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They knew Mike would only go so far.
Yeah.
So,
Mike wasn't
that's
going to get a
how my
girl
dad
pregnant.
raised me.
No,
I mean, I
I was
probably could have.
like most of you guys. I was raised not to think independently, not to be a follower.
Yep.
Right. Right.
You had your own mind, and you didn't need to impress anybody by doing whatever they were doing.
The biggest thing I think I remembered, always growing up and still to this day, the biggest thing was I never wanted to disappoint my parents, but my dad always told me, "You remember, that's my last name that you have.
Right.
So what you do reflects on me. That's not your name, that's mine."
Yeah.
So
that was what I told Frankie and John.
What you do reflects on me. So remember that. And I always remember that growing up. Like, I never wanted to get in any serious trouble because I always would remember my dad telling me, that's my last name. Like, and I still feel that way Like
Yeah.
I carry myself a certain way because of my last name and who I am, and I don't want to bring
ask the boys. Ask the boys, Mike. That's the first speech I had with each one of them when they started Bayer High School, because that was like the first time that they were literally being in with teachers that still were around, that I was around.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I told the boys. I said, look, you start your freshman year at Bayer High School. Your last name is Troncali. What you do represents me. I will run into these people eventually someday. And so, yeah, no, Frankie knows that speech I gave him about the Troncali last name. All I ever told my kids is just, please to God, if your name is going to be in a newspaper, it better be for a good reason. It better be a happy fucking story. That's all I'm saying. You saved a fucking bunch of kittens in a tree. That's the kind of story I want to see. I don't want to see drunk driving or any of that other nonsense. But I started thinking, I remember 83, Risky Business was the movie I was told no. That I couldn't see Risky Business. I had to wait till Risky Business came out on VHS to watch it for the first time.
Is that the Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah, the Tom Cruise movie. And it was just because, it was just because here was a movie that was a teenager doing everything that he was told not to do when their parents weren't home. So that was like a big deal to my parents, because they're like, they wanted to be able to leave their home and not know, Jennifer, you know how my parents are, and not know that there was going to be this huge fucking party that was going to be at the house, and acting like a jack.
Like what my brother David did?
Or I did when they went to Italy. Yeah, you had a big party too. I had to break that thing up.
I heard that there was a couple hundred people.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. That was the only movie. But my dad, he let you know something was shit. Like, I always tell that story of my dad walking down the hallway while we're watching Raw on HBO. And before my dad turned the corner, he's like, what the fuck are you listening to? What is this crap? Take this off. I don't want to see this shit. And we had to literally change the channel because of just that Raw episode. He was just like, what is this crap? And Raw was bad. That was like the beginning of, like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, Eddie Murphy.
My parents I'm sorry.
Delirious was first. Raw was second.
Yeah. No, but Raw was bad, though. Raw was worse than Delirious.
Oh, what?
Wouldn't you say?
Delirious
was pretty bad.
Yeah.
My parents were listening to
it
Richard
was more
Pryor
graphic,
and
yeah,
Steve
but Delirious
Martin,
was incredible.
Yeah.
Andrew Dice Clay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Freaking
George Carlin.
There's another one.
George Carlin.
George Carlin was good.
Awesome.
But I'm trying to think.
Chong.
Yeah, they had their records. My parents had Cheech and Chong's records, and they would play that shit.
We used to listen to Bill Cosby and the Cosby.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, Cosby record.
Yeah,
Yep.
you couldn't come any cleaner than that back then.
Oh yeah, that was yeah. And he ended up being such a nice guy too, Bill Cosby.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Day Raper.
He's a stand-up guy. He's a stand-up guy. Yeah. I'm. Yeah, we don't claim.
Did you guys watch Family Matters?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Urkel.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the first shows I can remember watching as a kid. Was Family Matters.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That I just started reading a couple things about that show the other day. How they forced him not to eat and work out or nothing, so he could stay looking younger than. Poor bastard. Don't eat, don't gain any weight. You can't work out. You can't.
His name got to be fat.
Yeah. He got huge, and he just stayed the same. That poor kid. Yeah, he couldn't eat, couldn't do nothing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know things were different. I know that I'm kind of surprised, like. But you're at that age, like I said, when you were 18, Bruce. I mean, it was already into the 90s. Nobody's going to tell you what to fucking do or what not to watch. And I don't think
Bruce is like, I was not 18 in the 90s.
Well,
in
the 80s, in the 80s, 70s. Oh, did I? Yeah. So nobody's going to tell. And I'm trying to think of some of the racy. Yeah. Bruce is fucking old, man.
How old are you, Bruce?
63.
63. Okay.
You're the same age as
my grandfather. Mike, is that what you're gonna say?
No, my dad. My dad literally is turning 63. I think this month.
Yeah, he turned 63 in April.
Yeah, same age as my dad.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. I don't think. Well, there were some raunchy movies in the 70s, right?
All right, look. Okay, so you want raunchy movies in the 70s, okay?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Midnight Cowboy, very bad.
Midnight Cowboy. Yeah.
Last Tango in Paris. The Graduate.
The Graduate.
Okay.
Wasn't The Clockwork Orange pretty
else?
gruesome?
Saturday Night Fever,
I didn't
70s.
see The Clockwork Orange.
It was
Right,
dense.
but I had to see. My parents had no idea. At 16 years old, I snuck into the movies to go see Animal House. Because again, I didn't know where I was. I just had to be home by
let me
midnight.
watch that.
John Belushi.
That was pretty raunchy.
Yep.
Yes.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I don't think they showed anything.
That bad. That wasn't that fun.
They just insinuated a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, again, a lot of those movies.
I mean,
like
you probably
Blues
got about 10
Brothers.
10 titty shots, and that's it.
Yeah.
The movies
Blues
back
Brothers
then,
is awesome.
like, yes.
Yeah, they're technically showing way too much fucking guy ass now. I don't need to see guy ass. They need to go back.
Fine with seeing
We
guy
need to
ass
go back to the way it was.
before. It was a bunch of titties, so having some guy ass available.
Yeah, but even women can appreciate titties.
Okay, and women can appreciate ass. Stop it.
Yeah, they're literally showing way too much guy ass now in movies.
I'm just trying to show full front and center.
I'm just saying, not everybody likes a guy's ass. Everybody likes girls' titties. Everybody loves
men
titties.
don't necessarily like girls' titties.
I'm sure they appreciate them, though.
Some of them appreciate it.
They appreciate them.
Yeah. I don't appreciate anything about a man's ass.
I'm just not checking out a guy's ass.
Right.
So,
It's a nice ass.
I'm going through the movies in the 70s, and I don't know. I don't see anything that really jumps out at me.
Anything with an ass, no.
I mean, you got Planet of the Apes came out in the 70s. Watermelon Man, I don't know that movie.
I remember Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston. So.
Yeah, boy bands. I don't see anything that was like really raunchy. I mean, I think it was the 80s. Oh, there's a movie here.
Kramer versus Kramer.
It wasn't until 76 when Rocky came out that movies started getting good.
Yeah.
Oh God, Harlem was out in the 70s. The Owl and the Pussycat. That title alone makes me want to watch that movie.
Any of the Pink Panthers in the 70s?
Oh, with Peter Sellers.
Bob, do you remember Bob, do you remember the Owl and the Pussycat? The Owl and the Pussycat movie, 1970. It is. It's, fucking Bob's knowledge is just fucking.
Wasn't A Star Is Born? That was
the original?
in the 70s.
Yeah, original.
The original.
70s.
Yes.
But see,
so and then had Star Wars.
The 70s had some classics though. We had Jaws. We had Wars.
Star Wars.
We had a shit ton of John Wayne movies in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, you did.
True Grit.
True Grit? Shit.
Yep.
True Grit.
Carry On Up the Jungle looks like a pretty freaky
My mom
movie.
was watching the original Jaws the other day. I went over the house and she was watching it. That movie is still a classic. Like,
hey, I was in the theater. I got to see it when they first opened up, right there. And I'm with a couple buddies of mine. And when they did that, dun 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 dun, and then the first time it showed up, some guy literally ripped the arm off his freaking chair.
No, that was big. That was big.
Oh, no.
It scared the shit out of me when that thing
I'm
came
trying
out
to
of the
think
water,
of them.
man.
Was
Dude,
Cannonball Run in the 70s?
I'm like,
Yeah, I think so. Late 70s.
years old, and I'm at at the movie theater, and when the head pops out from underneath the boat, there was 3 girls in front of me. They all threw their popcorn in the air.
Yeah, there were people just literally. I mean,
That movie,
The Omen. The Omen came out in the 70s too, right?
That and Amityville Horror.
And The Exorcist.
Oh shit!
Exorcist. Yeah.
What was that like seeing that when it came out?
That had to be freaky for that generation.
Did you guys see it
What?
when it came out?
The
I
Exorcist.
didn't see it when
yeah,
it first
you're
came out.
too
I
young.
waited a
Oh
couple
no,
years.
yeah. My parents let us watch everything. I keep trying to tell you guys. I remember when I was like 6, walking up the stairs, and they were watching Halloween or some shit, and it was all dark, and my dad reached through the fucking bottom of the goddamn stair because he's so tall, and he grabbed my ankles, and I yelled, "Oh shit!" And I was like 7. My
remember
parents
the,
let us watch
Omen?
things we shouldn't have watched.
All the Omen movies. Damien.
Oh God, those were horrible. We watched that shit.
You gonna come tomorrow?
We watched all of the Freddy Krueger movies. We were way too young to watch that shit.
Children of the Corn.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
God.
Children of the Corn.
Those little fuckers. No.
What about when did the original Texas Chainsaw come out?
I think it was in the
74?
Yeah.
I think it was
That was
74.
a low budget movie thing too when that came
It's
out.
still a classic. And
Yeah, it was.
Phantasm.
Oh yeah,
My parents
1974.
my
Bob,
parents let us-
damn.
My parents let us
What
watch
about the
Phantasm.
Hills Have Eyes too? That was pretty.
I don't
gory.
watch that.
That was a really
Was that an old movie too?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking
I
at
didn't know
They
the.
made a bunch
I
of
didn't know that
sequels,
was a
but
remake.
they had the original one, and they had a couple other sequels they did.
Yeah,
after.
the original was in '77.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a lot of westerns in the 70s.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
a
dude,
lot of
Gaston
fucking
Bay,
west.
baby.
The Man Called Sledge. Did you watch The Man Called Sledge?
The Toxic Avenger.
Okay. No. But the 70s had the great disaster movies. We had The Picture.
Poseidon Adventure.
The
Poseidon Adventure.
Airport 75. Airport 77. The
Well, the
Towering
Poseidon-
Inferno.
Tower
Poseidon?
Inferno.
Yeah, the Poseidon Adventure.
Yep.
The Towering Inferno. We had Airport 75. Airport 77.
Earthquake movie was out too, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
I
Wasn't
remember
the Earthquake
Yeah,
movies out?
in the 70s, I remember the Bruce Lee Kung Fu movies.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Enter the
Lot-
Enter the
Dragon.
Dragon. Enter
And the
Dragon.
007 movies.
Dragon,
We've always,
um,
my dad's always watched the 007.
Oh,
movies.
James
back
Bond,
then
dude,
it was
we-
still
We got
what's his
Sean
name?
Connery,
Sean Connery
and we
back
got
then.
Roger Moore.
Oh, shit.
Roger Moore.
Sean Connery. Shit.
He was
Sean
he
Connery was
original
a
Bond.
G.
He was a legend.
Yep.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
would agree
Dr.
with that.
Seuss, Horton Hears came out in the 70s.
What about any which way but loose with Clint Eastwood?
Well, yeah.
Oh, God.
The orangutan.
Yes.
My
When-
turn,
when did
Clyde.
Dirty Harry start?
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, you had a lot of Dracula movies too in the 70s. Jesus
Oh
Christ.
yes, Nosferatu.
Oh,
Vampire-
that's because they were actually scared of that shit back then.
Vampire Lovers. That's one. The title alone makes me want to watch that movie.
It sounds like a bad porn.
Yeah.
Oh, don't make me look
even
up
have-
names to porn movies in the 70s.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Yes, Debbie Does Dallas.
Behind the
That's-
green door.
David S. Dallas. Behind the Green Door, The Story of O.
Oh, when did that show
Heathrow,
come out? The original Dallas show.
Oh my
Oh.
God.
Oh,
Or
that's-
Days of Our
That was in
Lives.
that was in the
Oh,
80s.
that came out like in 78. Like
it?
77,
I
78.
remember the Gong
No,
Show.
not 70. Well, I don't know because I went to high school with Mary Frances Crosby.
Oh, I don't know what took.
I've never seen the original show, but they redid it, and they had a couple of they just did it with like the kids now, like their kid. It was with those people's kids, but some of them were still in it. It was pretty good.
Here's a title from the 70s. 9 Lives of a Wet Pussy. That's the name of the fucking movie.
Porno movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was
Is that a porno?
1978, Bob.
9 Lives of the Wet Pussy.
Huh?
That was the name of the fucking movie.
Is that a normal movie or porno?
Yeah, it's on the list. It's the first one.
Well, you remember that movie we watched, that little preview little thing we watched of that, like the oldest porn or the first porn.
Oh
ever
God,
shot?
that was horrible.
It was like a dude picking chicks up in like a horse and carriage.
Model A, dude. Model A.
It was like a little dune buggy. I was like, get out of here. And he was just like, you guys want to go to the park? Like
It was silent too. It was a silent film, dude. That was horrible. Hey, look,
That's how they used to.
they were even back in the 70s tying in movies to porn names. This one right here, Alice in Wonderland, 1976 porno.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
That was back when the bush was a thing.
No, I'm trying to tell you, we were
Oh,
having
yeah.
a kid's birthday
Oh,
party,
yeah.
and my aunt went to rent Alice in Wonderland, and they gave her the porn one.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you had kids, and she popped it into the fucking VCR whenever it's press play, and we were all like, "What the fuck is this?
Here's another
not
one.
Alice in Wonderland."
The sex
Bat-
music comes on.
Yeah, Bat Pussy from 19...
That sounds like something to stay away from.
1960,
That sounds like a disease.
1968.
Did the coronavirus come from that? No.
That sounds like a disease, and they instead of telling
Bat
everyone about it,
pussy.
they just made a
Could you
porn
imagine
about it.
Bats
Yeah.
in that
Pow,
thing looking like
pow,
vagina?
pow.
A vagina that looks like a bat.
Boys in the Sand. I'm not watching that one.
Poison in the sand.
Yeah.
It could be about the
What could
Beach
that even be
Boys.
about?
I don't know. I'm not clicking it, Mike. I'm not
pretty
clicking
sure
it.
That title kind of gives you a clue.
Boys in the Sand.
Yeah,
There's a
I'm not
beach
clicking
ball.
it.
Yeah, but
Beach.
it
Maybe
wouldn't
they're
have been
playing
it.
volleyball.
But how old that was. with
Oh,
how old
here
that
you
was,
go.
That wouldn't be gay porn, right?
Yeah, here you go.
Now it would.
The name of this one is
Now it would.
Come and Blow My Horn. That's the name of a porn movie.
Man, they have really shitty names.
Everybody remembers The Devil and Mrs. Jones. That's
Yep.
a classic porno. That's
But, I
a
mean,
classic.
Yes,
They were really
Delvin
reaching-
Jones.
They were really reaching for titles back then. So.
Insatiable.
Yeah. The History of the Blue Moon.
But you know, though, in
I don't know
the
if-
70s, though,
Why do I
in the
imagine
70s, though,
an
we got all
ass?
the cold, dirty Harry movies.
The History of the Blue Moon. This one just gets right to the title. Inside Jennifer Wallace.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Damn. See, they
It's
just
inside
went direct.
Jennifer Well.
Is it?
Jennifer Well.
I can barely see it.
The View
Hot
Boys
and Saucy
China
Pizza
Colleges.
Girls.
Yes.
Bob remembers that one.
You know what?
Hot and
Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls was actually a pretty good movie. It was.
Oh my
Is
god.
that an Academy Award or an Oscar for that one, Bob?
I'm not watching.
You know, they had
I'm not watching.
Pizza Delivery Girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not watching Kansas City Trucking Company. For some reason, I'm not watching that one.
Sounds like that should be a documentary, not a porn.
Oh my god.
Straight up Dracula Sucks. I don't know if I'm going to watch that one either.
I wouldn't think I'd buy that one either.
He only visits while you're on your period.
L.A. Tool and Die? That's the name of a movie.
Okay, that sounds like a snuff film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's some really weird names in here, man.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
Schoolgirls. I'll watch that one.
Of
We should get
course.
the 80s.
What was the one
Yeah.
that was a series of the gal, of the Emmanuel series or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Satan was a lady.
Emmanuel.
I'm
Satan
watching
was
that porn.
Later.
Satan was a lady.
Remember that, Bob? The Emmanuel series or whatever it was? The gal?
Oh,
I have
this
no
one.
idea.
Here you go. Snow White and the Seven Perverts. Straight up.
That's
They're
just
not
like
ma-
going to the store. No.
You remember that one, Bob?
They had a
Snow White and the
No,
Seven
I don't remember
Dwarfs.
that one, but they had another version called Seven into Snowy.
7 what?
Seven into Snowy.
Oh,
Into Snowy.
Okay.
Then they
Sorry
had
to
some
tell you,
Red
there's only so
Robin
many
ones.
holes.
And,
Yeah, it was a parody on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
then they had
Let
some-
My Puppets Come. I don't know if I'm watching that one.
It
sounds a
sounds
little
like
bizarre.
a whole thing on toys.
That like a Pinocchio thing or what? You know?
I don't know, man.
Lie
There's
to
some
me,
weird-
motherfucker, lie.
Yeah, lie. Water Power. I don't know if I'm watching Water Power. I don't know.
Water power.
Yeah, I don't know that. Virgin Rope Makeover.
What?
What?
Virgin Rope Makeover.
Virgin
Okay, so
rope?
it has something to do with penis.
Wet and Wildness. You remember that one,
They
Bob?
had one.
This is ridiculous.
They had
what
one in
topic
the
are we
80s
supposed to be
called
on anyway?
The Goonies. It was a parody of the Goonies.
Oh shit!
Goonies?
No shit. The Zodiac Rapist. I'm watching that one.
Yeah,
I'm watching that one.
Good. I'm good. Don't need to watch that.
Yeah. Pretty Peaches. That sounds like a good one.
It's about
Once Upon a Girl.
God.
Knights in Black Leather.
Okay, Johnny, what topic were we supposed to be on, by the way?
We're done with the topics. I'm just naming off famous movies from the 70s.
Porn.
Behind the Green Door.
Oh my God.
On the
Why
Green
is it
Door,
gotta be green?
that's American
Blue Money. Yeah.
That's the ivory girl, isn't it? Or
Yeah. I always had a thing for Candy Stripers, and there's this movie called Candy Stripers.
there's always a movie about candy stripes.
Of course there is.
I'm surprised I don't see any titles with nurses' names in them.
Oh, there's got to be nurses movies.
Yeah, I don't see any in the ends. There's Naked Came the Stranger, The Newcomers, New York City Infermo, which is probably a take from that movie, A Night at Adams, A Night in Black Leather. That's all the end movies. No movies with nurse in it in a title, which is kind of weird.
I know you're looking for the naughty nurse who works.
Oh, $10, $10. Bob's gonna know this movie, and so's Bruce. You ready? Flesh Gordon.
Flesh Gordon. I know that movie.
Flesh
My parents had it.
I've got that on DVD. I got Flash Gordon.
I
That's a
know
great
that movie. My parents fucking owned that movie.
Flesh
So do
Gordon,
I.
right?
They thought it was the funniest shit ever.
It's
It
a
is.
great movie. It's funny.
It is.
It's
It's not known for its
It's funny as
cinematography by any means.
no. No.
Oh man,
You can
that
see
a
the
boy.
strings on the rocket ship, you know.
Through the Looking Glass. You remember that one, Bob?
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Sweet Savage, Sugar Cookies, Spirit of 16 Sex. Wow.
Okay, that doesn't sound right.
She's such a woman. She's such a woman. Schoolgirl. There we go. Nice title.
Yeah, no.
Schoolgirl.
College girl. She's in college and
cheerleaders.
she's working for a living.
Revenge.
Let's see. We got Debbie Does Dallas and the D's, Deep Throat, The Devil and Mrs. Jones, Dirty Western, and Dracula Sucks in the D's.
Dracula.
Oh, here you go. Forced Entry, 1973. Forced Entry.
Yeah, that doesn't sound okay.
You have the right to remain silent.
No. Fuck off.
Farmer's Daughter. Bob, Farmer's Daughter.
Oh Lord.
I see a lot of hillbillies in that one. I see a lot of missing teeth in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a good movie that was freaky. Deliverance.
Oh, ding 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 ding.
Yeah, I'm surprised that movie isn't on any. I'm surprised that movie isn't on anybody's checklist of fucking banned movies.
Squeal like a pig.
Squeal like a pig, boy.
Squeal like a pig.
You sure you got a pretty mouth?
Yeah. How's that fucking movie not on anybody's list?
I know.
That movie is just so horrible. Nobody wants
Because
to
it's
touch
only
it.
guys that bad things are happening to.
Yeah.
Oh, just before we end, I might as well end with the 15 must-see pornos from the 1970s.
Oh my God,
Must.
why?
Behind the Green Door, 1972. That's a must-see. Deep
so you
Throat,
know.
1972. Must-see. The Devil and Mrs. Jones, 1972. A must-see. Johnny Wad, W-A-D-D. The French Blue. Bob, you remember the French Blue from 1974? Oh, here you go. Straight up, 3 a.m., 1975. Is that where the saying comes from? That nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m.?
Probably.
Oh, classic from 1975 on the list. Pussy Talk. Pussy Talk.
The pussy starts talking to you, something's wrong.
And The Farmer's Daughter from 1975 makes the list. Naked Came the Stranger, 1975. That's on the list.
Naked came the stranger.
Yeah.
Some naked person just shows up at the front door.
Here, this is straight up making me laugh right here. The opening of Mrs. Beethoven. The opening.
Damn.
Of Mrs.
I'm scared. No, we're good.
Water Power. I got something makes me want to watch Water Power. 1976.
Golden showers.
Yeah.
You're sick, Don.
Well, if you're into waterworks there, Johnny, probably good movie then. Huh?
It's loosely based on the real life escape of Michael H. Caton, who let's see here, who would rob women and then make them take an enema afterwards. Yeah, never mind. I don't want to watch that movie. I don't watch that movie.
And maybe they got beads in there.
Forced
Johnny.
enemas? That's
Mike. Oh, Mike. You ready for this one? It makes the list.
No. He's like, no.
1978. One very famous actor today.
I know what
A
it is.
legendary actor today.
The
Italian Stallion from
Oh,
1978. It makes the list.
Italian
Sylvester
Stallion.
Stallone.
Sylvester
What was that other one he did?
See, like Jackie
What was-
Chan's done porn too.
What was that one he did?
And they're letting you know that this movie has been re-edited, so now it's even in better quality than the original one. So if you get to now, you get to watch it in 4X if you know.
Get your big ass 72-inch screen TV and watch the Italian Stallion. Get it on.
Yeah, Debbie Does Dallas, 1978 is on that list.
That is an all-time.
Yeah, and the last one. Too bad we didn't know about this movie when the Olympics were starting. Olympic Fever from 1976. Is that just a bunch of Olympians fucking each other in the with the village, the Olympic Village?
Quite possibly.
Probably is.
You know, they're all in pretty good shape.
I love these names. Bambi Woods. What movie was Bambi Woods in, Bob?
Yeah, Bob. And his name is Bob.
Where does he store all this shit? That's all I want to know. Where the fuck does Bob store all this shit?
I don't know, man.
Oh,
He's like, it's just there.
It's just there.
Would be Bambi Wood or Bambi Woods?
Bambi Wood.
Bambi Wood.
Okay.
Bambi Wood.
Woods with an S. Yeah, Woods.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. We are done, guys. We had a good show. Thank you, Mr. Mike, for jumping in on the birthday broadcast, I guess. One more time, I have to put this up there at the end so people see it in case they jump to the end. This one was rated R. Borderline X.
In some cases, it was the X, yeah.
But I almost clicked the one that Jen didn't want me to click on, which is the banana one for $199.
No. No. But if anybody's interested, I have the Cash App. You want a video?
I'll put it up there.
Johnny doesn't
See,
get
Jen,
anything.
see Jen eat a banana for $199. Just. Are we talking a good sized banana, or we're not talking about?
He's like, not those mini little motherfuckers.
Yeah, a mini little banana is not going to work for $200. I want a Chiquita banana from
banana. He's like organic. I wanted. They had to give them really big hormones.
Otherwise, I'm just going to go rent Debbie Does Dallas and watch Bambi Woods do something with a banana.
Would be the cheaper thing. So let's go ahead and encourage vintage porn to the next generation. If you are an adult,
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I could watch 70s porn today. I don't think I could deal with it.
Well, John, prepared for they manicured themselves differently back then.
No shit, Bruce.
Hi, Bob.
Things were a little bit more hairier back then.
Yeah, it was like this. The poor guys were like this. Where is it, man?
You need to go in with the weed whacker.
They did not care.
All right. Mike, could you watch 70s porn and be excited?
It's a joke not to get aroused.
He's like,
as a joke.
He's like, it's not for the spank bank.
Okay.
Watch
Flash Gordon as a joke.
Flash Gordon's funny though. That's funny.
A joke. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That
had what do you?
Even the original Flash Gordon was hilarious.
Oh yes, the original Flash. Oh.
The airplane spaceship.
Oh God.
On screen.
Just for shits and giggles, because we have some people from the 70s that watch porn. Me in the 80s, Jen in the 80s, and Mike 90s, 2000. Which generation do you think had the best stories? That told the story during the porno.
There's no porn that
definitely
I'm aware
before
of.
my time.
Yeah, I'm
probably
like, there's
probably
no story.
the 80s.
There's no story.
The 80s.
You think the dialogue? Who had the best dialogue? Best dialogue. 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s? 80s.
I think that the older ones tried harder, and now they don't try at all. It's like, hi.
No. Yeah.
Not much speaking lines.
And now they just come in. Do I need to remember any lines? No.
Just bend over that counter right there.
Just mount up. Just mount up.
In the 70s, they had a script. They were like, okay, I need to stand on this line, say this, open the door.
Meeting at a club. And we see each other.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are out of here. Again, thank you, everybody, for jumping in tonight. And we'll see everybody next week.
Good night, Johnny.
Right,
thank you, man. Thank you.
Right.
Hey, don't forget, tomorrow night, Bob can't make it.
I got rid
what, 5:30?
Have fun.
5:30. Yeah, Mike, if you want to come, 5:30, tap Apple.
All right, John.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out.
Beep.